Fire up the recruiting cannons. Luke Fickell is off the mat. We are up and running. 2 new commitments to the Badgers 2023 class. We're going to talk about them, what they mean. Will they get early playing time? Quick show, but definitely something we want to dive into on Wisconsin. Locked On Badgers. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Locked On Badgers. I'm your host, Ryan Herrings. As always, thank you for making this one of your first listens every day. Bonus content today. We got a show released this morning. We're still doing a recording tonight that's going to release tomorrow with Rajiv. But listen, 2 big commits happened almost at the same time last night. And we got to just chop them up really quick, talk about them really quick. Luke, so really for the last 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, whatever, Wisconsin, it feels like it's just been a slow bloodletting from the recruiting class, right? Because you had the Paul Christ firing, then you had Jim Leonard, the interim questions, will he stay, will he not? And not only are you not really able to leverage anything in that period to add recruits, obviously Cole LaCrue came on during this period, but for the most part, you can't build to your class, but you're also slowly losing. There goes Tresh Kekahuna, the talented receiver, Colin Dixon, who has since committed to Illinois, Roderick Pierce, Jamel Howard, Christopher Tarrick, the big-time offensive tackle that went to Notre Dame. And you're just like, Jacquez Keys decommitted. Well, the bloodletting's gone. Luke Fickell's off the map. 2 big-time recruits committed to Wisconsin last night. And then we're going to talk about them really quickly. Braedyn Moore and Jonas Duclona, both defensive backs, both big athletes. And what do we talk about with Luke Fickell? They want to find bigger athletes and they're going to develop them. What about their track record with defensive backs? You're looking at guys like Sauce Gardner, a bigger athlete. They want to get you look at some of the guys out there, Snowden, who they're after is a 6'3" player. You know, Braedyn Moore, 6'1", 190 pounds out of Ohio, borderline 4-star player, big time athlete, physically ready. You know, he reminds me a lot of. He reminds me of Austin Brown. Austin Brown, who absolutely looks the part from last year's cycle. Came in, got on special teams right away, figures into the safety rotation for sure going forward. That's what Braedyn Moore looks like to me. He's a big-time athlete, runs well, physical, ready to play right away. Probably going to get that same type of treatment where he can get into the rotation right away as a special teams player. Big-time get for this class. He was a Cincinnati commit. A lot of people had thought he was coming over. That is now official. He has committed to Wisconsin. And again, it feels good to get up and rolling, right? To get the ball moving, to get some momentum. This feels like the floodgates are starting to open a little bit, and the bodies are going to start careening through that spillway. And that's, I guess, enough of my damn water analogy. But the point is, we're up and running. 2 big-time commits. Braedyn Moore, big-time athlete. I think he's probably more of an in-the-box safety when you look at him on film, which I start to think we may have too much of, quite frankly. I mean, you can never have too many good athletes. I think we're missing that kind of rangy safety on this team still, that Tanner McAvoy-type player, who I think Amari Snowden could be that dude potentially. But listen, this is another big athlete. He's played special teams. He's played receiver. He's played all over the field. He's versatile. He's could step in right away. And when I look at the safety group at Wisconsin, I'm suddenly thinking, and it's amazing. I was talking about this on the Discord, I think with Deputy. It's amazing how quickly a year can change everything. We were so worried about our safety depth and our safety rotation. Now I see Kamoi Latu, who I love. Big physical rangy safety. I see, obviously we just got Braedyn Moore, Austin Brown, Hunter Wohler. I like Al Ashford, the 6'1", really fast player as well. There's so much there at safety. I think Travion Blaylock could come back too. Like, that position is stocked with athletes. I'm so excited for it. Braedyn Moore, a big part of that. And then Jonas Duclona, 6-foot cornerback, 175 pounds out of Naples, Florida. And again, what do we talk about? A taller, rangier athlete, right? So many of the cornerbacks in the past that Wisconsin's got, not all of them, certainly not all of them. Like Avion Jones is 5'11", 6 foot. Alexander Smith is 5'11", 6 foot. But there's a lot of players where it feels like we've even either gotten smaller athletic players or kind of taller. I don't want to say slower, but Caesar Williams type players, right? It looks like this staff is going after guys who are taller and can still run, and they're going to bank on themselves to develop those players. So Jonas Duclona is an example of that. He's going to one of the prestigious All-American Bowls for high school players after the season. Mid 3-star player, but long arms. He glides around the field. Playmaker, really good with the ball in his hands. Definitely somebody who looks like he can compete with the bigger, taller, maybe not more physical, but the bigger, taller speedier receivers in the Big Ten that we see employed against us quite a bit. And a player who, what does that mean for, immediate playing time for him? Well, you look at the cornerback depth chart, you have Alexander Smith coming back, which is a big time addition. That's huge. That's a building block. That's a granite block that you can build in your secondary with coming back at one side. But then on the other side, you have a whole mix of young players, right? You think Dort's gone, Clark's gone. A lot of players are leaving, and Samar Melvin entered the portal. So you have Ricardo Holman, you have Max Lofi, you have Avion Jones. Certainly Al Ashford could potentially move back. You have a Corey Lyde. And then you have this guy coming in, Jonas Duclona. He's going to be right in that mix potentially for early playing time, even if he's not the starter. Jace Arnold as well coming in this year's class. So a lot of young talent there. We got to see what happens. But like I said, quick show. We're not talking about a whole lot here except just saying, yes, let's go. These are two big commitments, two athletic players, two big additions to the recruiting class at positions where Wisconsin has historically had a tough time recruiting, and at a spot where Luke Fickell's staff has historically had a really good job of developing. So I think we're going to see more coming in quick fashion here, but on Wisconsin, a bunch more coming your way. Let's go.